The Little Things is directed by John Lee Hancock and tells the story of Joe Deacon, a sheriff's deputy who travels to Los Angeles and ends up joining forces with Sergeant Jim Baxter in order to prevent further murders from happening, in which they are all the same. Girls being found completely naked with bags over their heads and bite marks and sucks on them and their throats slit open. And I'm really having a hard time trying to figure out how much I like this movie because overall I did enjoy it. I didn't hate myself watching it. It's definitely better than the last film I saw, Wonder Woman. But there's a lot of things in this film that just make me think it's not that special. It really isn't. Let me just get some of the positives out of the way. I think the film looks good. I like the sound design. A lot of the music choices were good. Some of them were cut too early. I like the score. Thomas Newman did the score for this film. And the acting is solid. The first scene is very suspenseful. It's about a girl who's driving down a highway and a car keeps following her and it keeps mimicking her every move. And the killer of the film is the person in that car. But the rest of the film doesn't reach that height of suspense. And it's really hard for me to talk about this film because although I watched it last night, I've been thinking about it so much. And like I said, this isn't a special movie. I think a lot of this film is carried by Denzel and Rami, even though both of their characters, they don't connect with each other. And I know this isn't a buddy cop film, but they don't have a connection with each other. And their motivations seem kind of weak at first. Jim Baxter, Rami's character, we see that, the murders and the missing victims, it's eating away at him because he wants to stop them from happening. And the media's all over him. And if he doesn't do anything about it, the FBI will they'll take charge of the investigation. But we don't really see a lot of that eating away at him. We don't see him losing sleep. We don't see him, drinking or smoking or something. He just seems like, I'm determined and I'm going to do something about it. And Denzel's character, Deacon, we don't learn a lot about his motivations until the end of the film. It's just that he saw some of these murder victims and he saw that they're similar to other cases that he worked on in the past. And we really don't get a lot of motivation from him. It's just, I'm going to stop them because they're like the cases I've had before. And their characters, they're interesting enough, but I really wanted more out of them. And like I said, the acting is solid, but nothing blows me away. Even Denzel wasn't amazing in this film like he usually is. The last couple of films I saw Denzel in were the Equalizer films, and obviously he had a lot more to do in those. But even in the scenes where he's just talking, he's amazing. And the scenes where he's talking just in this film, it's just, oh, that's Denzel. I know Denzel when I see it. But I wanted more out of this movie. And I think that people's perspective of this film will be based on the ending, because it is an ending, and from what I've read, a lot of people are really mad about it because of the ambiguity of this. And to me, that's something I like about this film, the ambiguity, the not knowing whether or not Jared Leto's character was the killer. Based on all the promotion, he is the killer. He is this guy named Sparnham, but we're never shown anything. We're never given any specific fact that he was the killer. He's never shown killing anyone. He's never shown strangling anyone or hiding bodies or anything. He looks out to his the crime scenes where they happen. He just walks around. He has a job and he has his eyes like this and he talks weird and he has a pot belly. And it's, like I said, the characters are interesting enough. They're just base level, but I wanted more out of it. But getting back to that point of the ambiguity, I think it's nice not knowing whether or not he was the actual killer. And the reason for that is these films shouldn't have happy endings. This film seems to have a happy ending because spoilers right now. Baxter ends up killing Sparnum when he takes him out to the desert to try and look for a missing body, and he gets so fed up with Sparnum's talk. He's talking to him like, "How are you gonna protect your family if you can't, protect these people? I'll show you where the body is. Oh wait, no, it's not this hole. It's in this hole. It's in this hole." And he whacks him with a shovel, and kills him. But they don't have any evidence whether or not he killed him or not, or whether or not he killed those girls. All the girls, all the female victims throughout the film. They have no solid evidence because he seems to really hide all of his traces really well. Even though there's little details hidden throughout the film that show he's the killer, and he is just this weird guy with his eyes bulging out like this. There's no solid factual evidence that he's the killer, and it's really eating away at Rami Malek's character Baxter at the end of the film. And, what he is at the end of the film is what I wanted to see from him throughout the entire film. That's the amount of character I wanted from him. He looks defeated and depressed, and because he's trying to live with himself knowing that he killed the guy, but there's no evidence that they can pin against him, and they couldn't find the missing body. Because you go back to him and he has a bunch of holes dug up when he's supposed to bury Sparnum, but there's just a million holes he dug up. And the amount of character we get from Denzel Deacon, we don't get a lot of it until the end of the film. Throughout the film, he's just Denzel Washington. I'm Denzel Washington, and I talk cool, and you don't know a lot about me in this movie. I can't do a Denzel impersonation really, but gosh, it's hard for me to. It's really hard for me to grade this movie because I liked it. I did. I didn't hate myself watching it, and at the end of the film, with all the mystery, whether or not Sparnum was the killer or not, and there's no factual evidence. Denzel says something in the movie. It's the little things that matter. It's the little things that get you caught. It's the little things, and whatever he says about that, I went, wow, that's kind of cool. Maybe they're gonna find these little things that end up finding the body or finding out who the actual killer is. But for the missing girl, the family mentions, or the missing girl they're looking for in the film, the family mentions she had like a red beret, like a red hair clip, and this means a lot to the film because in a car scene when they're looking out to Sparnum's apartment, Baxter mentions to Deacon, "Hey, did you find a red beret in there?" And because of this is what makes, I think, the ending seem powerful. I don't think it really is all that powerful, but it has some weight to it. What happens is, because there's no evidence, because there's nothing they can pin on this Sparnum guy, Denzel ends up buying a pack of these berets, and he sends a letter to Baxter at the end of the film. And in the envelope that he sends is the red beret, which is supposed to, take some weight off of Baxter. Like, oh, okay, I killed this guy, and it wasn't for nothing because I know personally, without any other factual evidence, that he is the killer. But then at the end of the film, Deacon, he's burning a bunch of stuff that he took from Sparnum's apartment because he's dead. And he's burning it all because trying to make it seem like he escaped and left no trace behind. But he ends up burning a pack of berets that he bought with the red one missing. And this is that ambiguity, the unknowing of whether or not this guy is the killer, even though there's so many details pointing throughout the film that he is the killer. I think that's what makes this film make it or break it for a lot of people. To me, I liked it because it's not a happy ending. It isn't. And films like this shouldn't have a happy ending. But I don't know. There was something more that I wanted out of this movie. I'm not saying it's bad in any means. There are some things that bugged me, like some editing in the beginning of the film. Just constant cutting away when we shouldn't be, kind of distracting. I like the sound design. I like the choice of music and the score, and the film looks good. The acting is solid, but the film really isn't all that special. I think your perspective of the ending is what you're going to take away from this. And I liked the rest of the movie and I liked the ending, but I just wanted more. I'm going to give The Little Things a C plus. It's it's not great. It's good. I didn't hate myself watching it, but it's definitely a movie that I can see myself watching one day again. It's a movie that I don't think my family will watch. I think they'll think it's dumb. I talked to my uncle about it because he has HBO Max as well. He said he watched it and he said it was dumb. And then my auntie assured me, "Oh no, we liked it. It's just the ending was a little weird." And from that, I got, oh great. I really hope I'm not disappointed by this film. And I wasn't for the most part. I liked it. I just I wanted more. I wanted more of everything. I wanted more character development. I wanted That's really it. I wanted a better script too. Not really. There's a lot of interesting sequences that happen throughout the film, and it's it's hard for me to describe this film. It's definitely something that you really have to watch. I'm not saying go and watch it right now. It's just that I'm really having a hard time talking about this movie. It's definitely a film. It's definitely something I sat through and watched and didn't hate, but it's something that could have been a lot more. It could have been a lot more special. And that's all I really have to say for now. Maybe I'll watch it again someday. It was something I really wanted to watch again right after watching it, just because maybe there was something I didn't catch the first time. Maybe there was something that I wanted to see but I couldn't see. But in the end, I think a C plus is a reasonable grade for this film. It's good, but it's not great. It's not special, but it's not bad by any means. It's definitely an entertaining watch. So that's all I have to say for now. Thanks for watching this video. Tell me what you thought about The Little Things if you saw it. Tell me what you thought about my thoughts on it. And I'll be back with more enjoyable content like this. So, bye.